lifestyle's been freezing cold like the diamonds in they chain, no lab-grown stones. JimmyBoi, you been ballin', sit on the throne. Ain't never sold shit, clone, get your ass on. That bullshit is for the rodeo, it don't belong. Blowing on that Jonah beat pack from the biggest bone. From K-Town to H-Town, they hold it down. Internationally respected, you see the crowns. Dust Brothers and Theme Kings, we all hustlers. Been ballin' like JimmyBoi was feeding customers. Cold as ice, hit the block, come and cop from us. Realest podcast in the world that can't fuck with us. This lifestyle we live, man, it's cold as ice. We took a chance to ball, now we set the price. This lifestyle we live, man, it's cold as ice. We took a chance to ball, now we setting the price. Let's get it.
Yes, sir. Y'all tuned into another episode of Cold as Ice Pod, and I am one of your co-hosts, Mr. Jimmy the Gent, aka JimmyBoi, representing that down south to the west H-Town, because you know that's where we do it best, 80 to be exact, even from the south of that Vietnam, because y'all know what it is, baby. And my other host, Mr. Ben Baller, you know what I'm saying? I figure since we got so much good feedback last week, I told bro, go ahead and take the back seat and let me go ahead and take a swing at this thing again. You know what I'm saying? What y'all think? But hey, man, before I get into anything, let me just let y'all know this show is produced by the one and the onlys, Dust Brothers. Amazing guys, Mr. Jordan Winter and Miles Davis. Original theme song by Illegal Cartel. Y'all see that thing jamming and slamming, man. Y'all know what it is, bro. But hey, hope y'all doing good today, man. A little gloomy down here in the H-Town, but you know that's what it be sometimes. But before I even get into everything, man, let's just talk about a couple things like news around the world and things like that. Would you sell your citizenship for $5 million? So if y'all don't know, Trump came out with this thing called the Gold Card. And basically, it's the Gold Card visa. It's slated to replace the existing EB-5 visa. And it would give buyers a path to U.S. citizenship. As of March 20, 2025, U.S. Secretary of Commerce Howard Lutnick said they sold 1,000 of these gold cards already. You know what I'm saying? Basically, it's for, you know, people that are financially well in other countries to pretty much buy a U.S. citizenship, to be a U.S. citizen. You know, at $5 million and 1,000, man, you talking about some bread, man. And what y'all think about that? I think I remember I seen somebody post something about instead of Trump selling the visas, why don't he let some of the U.S. citizens sell their citizenship for $5 million? So I asked that, would you sell your U.S. citizenship for $5 million? You know what I'm saying? Kind of interesting, you know what I mean? But hey, I always say, like, Trump is a businessman. You know what I mean? He gonna figure a way or figure something, you know what I mean? But in other news around the world, man, a 7.7 magnitude earthquake rocked much of Southeast Asia on Friday, flattening skyscrapers, leaving more than 150 people dead and hundreds injured from Myanmar, I think that's how you pronounce it, to Thailand, man. Man, I'm seeing these videos, man. First, our prayers to everybody out there in Southeast Asia. It's wild, man. There's a video that you see where someone's driving with a dash cam on the freeway, and there's a big skyscraper, like at least, I'd have to say at least 35, 40 stories. And this thing looked like, I want to say, I don't want to say how close it is to completion because I don't know, but it had the windows up, things like that, and this thing just dropped. And that's scary, you know what I mean? I'm kind of glad that it didn't happen, you know, when it was fully built, I guess, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know if that's just because the earthquake was so strong or how it was built or made, but man, like, that shit's crazy, man. Y'all got to check out that video. And, you know, prayers to everybody over there in Southeast Asia. You know, that's pretty crazy, man. Other news, not too long ago, y'all hear about the big arrests that been going on. People catching the Rico, Big U. Yellow Beezy, you know what I'm saying, and all that going on, and it's like it's crazy out here, you know what I mean? Like supposedly, allegedly, these people running Ricos and paying, people to get murdered and assassinated, just putting hits and everything and stuff like that. And, it's wild, you know what I mean? A message to everybody out there, you know what I mean? Young, old, y'all probably know, but, as soon as you think you're above the law, they're going to figure a way to pull down them draws. And I say that because, man, you know what I mean? Like money, power, it's a hell of a drug. And, when you are able, or when you are put in a position to feel that you could do what you want, and you keep trying to like push the limit or whatever it is, I'm not saying none of these people did anything. I don't know these people personally at all. I think I met Yellow Bees a couple times, said what's up, things like that. Seen Big U here and there, never met him personally, but it's just speaking of just like basically what's being put on social media and or what even is on the news, just seeing the situation. Like, basically to me it's just, a lot of people just, started feeling some power and started feeling they were like above the law. You got to understand, like, I personally even had trouble with the feds back in the day. I caught a Fed case, and I just got to understand, man, you can't get away from these folks, man. Like, you thinking that you doing something, you thinking you getting away with something, like, bro, the whole time they know exactly what we doing. And I always try to tell people, my best example is there was a movie called Enemy of the State with Will Smith. And this movie came out in 1999. And so if you've never seen it, y'all should definitely check the movie out. And the reason why I say that, I think watching that movie, like, made me realize a bunch of stuff, you know what I mean? Because it's like, in this movie, like, they had satellites in space watching him walk to place, things like that. Like, they were able to, like, put money into his bank account without him knowing, like, just doing all kinds of crazy stuff, you know what I mean? And I say all this because I say, if in 1999, a movie is out about these type of things, and this is just my opinion, but like basically the government allowed them to put all that. So to me, they had this type of technology probably 10 years or more before even that time. You get what I'm saying? Like, this is my experience. Everything I speak about is usually about my experience. I don't really like to speak about shit I don't know. And so, like, my experience is just dealing with the law, dealing with the government. You know what I'm saying? Like, I remember when I was 18 when I looked at my indictment and where it said United States of America versus Jimmy Fan, not state of Texas, because I've been having that since I was 14, 15. But United States of America, you know what I'm saying? Like that. And I'm not here to brag about it. Like, that's something that you just don't want to play with. It's wild. It's like, I don't condone anything illegal, stuff like that, but it's just like, a lot of times, like, you notice now a lot of people, they come on podcasts, they go on shows, and they want to like kind of like brag or feel like they got something to prove, you know what I mean? I seen a pod like one time recently where a dude came on there and just was trying to be like, hypothetically speaking, or blah blah blah, I did this, I walked this dude down and I murked him, and like, he basically just gave the whole breakdown of how he killed the dude, supposedly, you know what I mean? But ended up getting charged for murder because he basically, spoke on things that only the killer would have known or whatever like that, you know what I mean? And even that, y'all got to remember something is that, whether it be federal or state, whatever, they can indict you if they choose to, you know what I mean? If they feel like they got enough reason to, you know what I'm saying? Like, they don't have to get enough proof, you know what I mean? Like, I remember when I was in prison, I was reading a newspaper, a journalist came down to Texas and was just basically doing like a whole report about the justice system and everything. And the journalist was from New York, I think, and he said, I would never move to Texas. He said, because in Texas, they'll indict a ham sandwich. And, I've even been in a situation like that where I got charged, with a bunch of things. And even though I knew I knew I was going to beat it, and I'm sure they knew it too, they just throw the charges because you're going to have to pay the lawyers, you're going to have to pay the bond to get out unless you're just going to sit there and wait, which ain't nobody that's really doing something with their life going to do. So, I've just, based off my experience, it's just like you can't play these games, man. Like, especially nowadays, how crazy technology is. Everybody got a camera on them. Like I come from an era, like it's even awkward to even have a camera around. That's why until this day, I still have trouble trying to like do videos, content, whatever. You know what I mean? Like I have literally from 2020, summer 2020 to like 2022, so like 2 years straight, I had a guy follow me around and film my day-to-day life, me taking care of my kids, me hustling, me traveling, doing all that. And, we even had a TV show, a couple of networks trying to make offers to do a whole reality show about my life of being a single dad, taking care of my kids, running my business and traveling around, like making jewelry for celebrities and famous people. And when it came down, I ended up just scrapping the idea because it's just like, I'm still not used to that. I'm still like, it's hard for me, not like in any particular way or reason. It's just, at the same time too, I chose not to because I knew for the sake of my children, like I didn't want them to be brought up in the life of like entertainment and things like that. But, back to what I'm just really saying, man, like just some advice out there, man, to you guys out there that God might have blessed you and you were able to get away from a situation that you had to do something or you did something. Like, learn to be happy with just the win within, like you don't have to feel like you need to brag or tell people about what you did or what you doing. It's like, I understand with social media and I understand it's hard, just like OnlyFans, man. Like, it's hard for a girl that's trying to live a straight life and go to school when she sees another girl that's doing all these kind of things, showing herself and stuff like that. And, it's hard, but you know what? In life, ain't nothing worth it come easy, man. So, it's hard as fuck every time. You know what I mean? Looking to be king in the bedroom? Hims is here to help with personalized ED treatment options, and it's all online. When your car breaks down, you take it to a mechanic with no hesitation. You need it. And it's not something most guys can fix themselves. And men should think the exact same way about ED. But the reality is you might be hesitant to seek help. Thankfully, through Hims, you can get access to personalized ED treatment without stepping outside your door. Hims is changing men's healthcare by providing you with the access to affordable sexual health treatments from the comfort of your couch. Hims provides access to a range of doctors' trusted ED treatments like chewable hard mints and Viagra and Cialis and other generics for up to 95% cheaper. 95% cheaper, man. No joke. The process is 100% online, so there's no need for uncomfortable doctor's visits. Just answer a series of questions on their site and a medical provider will determine the right treatment option. If prescribed, your medication ships directly to you for free. No insurance is needed, and one low price covers everything from treatments to ongoing care. With hundreds and thousands of trusted subscribers, Hims can help you find the ED option that works for you. Start your free online visit today at hims.com/code. That's HIMS.com/COLD. The products mentioned are chewable compounded products which are not approved by or verified for safety or effectiveness by the FDA. Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Prices vary based on product and subscription plan. One of the smartest apps you can have on your phone in 2025 is Upside. Upside gives you the power to earn more on the stuff you buy all the time. Whether you're filling up your tank, going out to eat, or shopping for groceries, the Upside app lets you earn cash back on every purchase. Upside users are making as much as $280 a year. Yep, $280. I use Upside at the gas station. It is really easy to use. With the cash back I sign up for, unlimited car washes. The free Upside app gets you cash back on daily essentials like gas, groceries, and dining. To get started, download the free Upside app. Use the promo code CODEASICE and get an extra 25 cents back for every gallon on your first tank. That's CODEASICE, COLDASICE, and get an extra 25 cents back for every gallon on your first tank of gas. Yeah, next, claim an offer for whatever you're buying on Upside. Then pay as usual with the credit card or debit card. Follow the steps on the app and get paid. There are over 100,000 gas stations, grocery stores, and restaurants on the Upside app, ensuring the cashback is always just around the corner. You can earn an average of 8% on restaurant and grocery purchases, and the best part, you can even stack your Upside cashback on top of your credit card and debit card rewards. Upside users are earning hundreds of dollars a year. That's probably why they have a 4.8 star rating on the App Store. Download the free Upside app and use promo code CODEASICE to get an extra 25 cents back for every gallon on your first tank of gas. That's an extra 25 cents back for every gallon on your first tank of gas. Use promo code CODEASICE, COLDASICE, Code as ice. We live in an era in the world now, you know, it's difficult, it's hard, because it's like, yo, I can talk about some things I did in the past, and I can get on these shows, and I know it ain't about showing off too. It's about y'all thinking about it's gonna do numbers, you're gonna make money. But you know, like I knew that if I would have did that show, you know, we had big money on the table, man. Like they had came at us big, and I just knew that basically I'm selling my children's lives for this price. And that's something I just couldn't do. You know what I mean? Like I was just like, I had to sit down with Vannah, and I just told her, you know what I mean? Like, you know, like right now people know us. We go around places, yeah. And honestly, if we don't do nothing for a couple of years, people might not remember us or recognize you. But if we really choose to do this show, once we cross this line, ain't no coming back. It's like, we're going to be known. We're going to be like celebrities where everywhere we go, people are going to recognize and know us. And that's something I never wanted for my children. You know what I mean? A lot of people don't know, like back when Vannah went viral, you know what I'm saying? Like she basically had a deal on the table, and it was a very, very lucrative, profitable deal. It would have changed our lives forever, my children, my grandchildren, everything. But basically the person, you know, and he's a very big person. I don't want to really name names, you know, but if you know, had a plan for her. It was a 20-year plan, basically. Like I would have had to sign my daughter's life away at 10 years old for 20 years. They had plans to put her into Nickelodeon, TV shows, get her popping with her own show, then backdoor with music, focusing on more like pop, getting into movies, everything. You know what I'm saying? Like a whole plan, and just all the way up. And, you know, a lot of people, even people closest to me, was telling me how crazy I was when I decided that that's not what I wanted. But for me, it was like, you know what? The best way I put it was like all those years of me risking my freedom, risking my life to make ends meet, just to give my daughter a life she deserves. And when I say life she deserves, it's like a normal life, a life of opportunity. You know what I mean? Because that's what the American dream is, you know, opportunity. So it's like, I'm going to sign her life away and take away that freedom, that opportunity for her to do whatever she wants in life for infinity money, if that. But it's like, what did I risk my freedom and all that and do all those things for? You know what I'm saying? And that's when I was just like, yo, I can't, man, I can't. And, you know, God ended up blessing me in different ways, you know what I mean? And I was able to build a business for myself and give her the life that she has, you know, which is, it's like, she's a normal kid living her life. You know what I mean? Like I look back now and you think about all the kids and people even that went viral or even was known, you know, you looking now, it's like a lot of them, they're not still doing their thing. They're continuously reaching other ways for attention, and they're making their money, and shouts out to them. I'm not knocking or hating or nothing, but you know, I'm glad that my daughter didn't have to do all that. You know, she had her fun. She did her little thing. She made the bag. Now she's going to college, living her life as a college student, enjoying herself and doing her thing. I never really even talked about it. It's crazy. I haven't even made a post. She graduated from high school last year. I've been planning to post and talk about it, but it's been so hard because, man, like, that's my baby. Savannah was the first girl, my only girl. She's the first kid I was able to raise, I actually be a parent to, and she's my only girl. The crazy thing, I don't think I ever even talked about it on the show, but I never wanted to have a daughter. I remember back in the day, Vannah has 2 older brothers, and, I was unable to really be a part of their lives. But when Vannah's mom was pregnant, like, we would go to the doctor, and the doctor would always be like, we think it's a girl, but we can't tell you for sure because of the way she's positioned. Like, due to my past and how how my life was, and basically what I went through with my own mother, I never wanted to have a daughter. Like, I was like, F that, I'll never have a daughter. I just want sons, you know what I mean? But it was crazy because, like, the whole time of the pregnancy, we never knew, and there wasn't technology like that at the time to know for sure. So I didn't know for sure that Vannah was a girl until she was born. And it's crazy because I think if I knew before, I would have maybe talked about having an abortion or whatever with her mom, you know what I mean? But it's crazy because, she ended up being the most important thing in my life. She changed me. She changed my outlook on women. She changed my life, everything. I still say it, but I used to a lot. I always say, like, she's the one girl that would never leave me. And I've said it on the show before. The reason why I say that is because she's going to grow up and she's going to go live her life. She's going to, go on with her life and, explore and live it the way she deserves to live it. But she's never going to leave me as in her heart. You know what I'm saying? Like, she doesn't be there for me because I'm going to make sure, like, my parents ain't did that for me. So I'm going to make sure that my children always going to know that they can always depend on me and I'm always going to be here for them. They never going to have to feel like it's a strain or whatever, it might be. And that's why she'll never leave me. She'll be there if I need her. You know what I mean? And it's crazy because I didn't even think about talking about all this on this episode. So, it's crazy how it just steered to this way, but speaking about it, like, my daughter graduated last year. I didn't graduate high school. You know what I mean? I ended up going to prison, youth prison, and they made me get a GED to even get out. So the highest grade I ever completed was 8th. I never posted about it because I kept with writing stuff, but I felt like words can't even express the way I feel, you know what I mean? As far as not even just being a proud dad, but just to see, like, my daughter be better than me. That's what I always tell my children, man. Like, you ain't got to be the best or you ain't got to do this and that. Like, just be better than me. Like, use me as an example. Use me and your mom as an example and just be better than us. You know what I mean? Because that's all we can really ask for. You know what I mean? I'm not going to sit here and tell my daughter, you need to be a doctor when I don't know shit about being a doctor. How can I even teach her or guide her or whatever? You know what I mean? So it's like helping support and promote them to just be better, you know what I'm saying? And find ways to help them strategize life, you know what I mean? Like, that's really, all it is. And it's just like, my daughter ended up wanting it all her life since she was a kid. She always said, I wanted to move to Cali or New York, you know what I mean? And I've talked a little bit about it on the show before. And, we did a whole drive together. We did a road trip to Cali. But yeah, you know what I mean? Like, I never really got detailed into it, you know what I mean? But Vannah, I know sometimes you watch this, you listen to this or you don't, but I just want you to know, like, no words in this world can ever express how proud I am of you. You're amazing. I love you so much. And, excuse me. I blame myself for all the flaws that you have that have been, that rubbed off on you. My flaws that rubbed off on you. And I apologize that I couldn't be the father that I want to be or wanted to be for you at the time. And I thank you because if it wasn't for you and our experiences and our trials and tribulations, I wouldn't be the father that I am today for your brothers. I'll never forget, like, couple months ago, Vannah came to visit, and we were talking about something, and we were talking about something that I was doing with her little brother, and she was like, damn, like, I ain't had that when I was growing up. You know, and it hurt. But I told Vannah, you know, because I wasn't the father that I am today. And I owe all that to you, Vannah. I owe that to you. Because, you know, honestly, man, you and me, we were the crash test dummies. We was in that car trying to figure it out, trapping together. You know, like, a lot of people don't know, you know what I mean? There was a time me and Vannah, we lived in a trap house together. You know what I mean? I had no choice. I had nowhere else to stay. She had to stay with me. And we just, you know, had to make it work. And I still remember them days like it was yesterday. It's crazy, you know what I mean? But just to want to narrow it down, because I don't want to spend this whole episode crying to y'all. I'm proud, man. Like, my daughter, you know, she turns 19 this year, next month to be exact. You know, she just got her own car. She got her own car under her name. You know, she got her car under her name, no cosign, no nothing, bro. You know what I mean? And man, I'm telling you, like, I can't even explain to you the feeling I had when I heard about it, and the feeling I got right now, even talking about it. Like I don't like to brag, but honestly, I'm bragging. And I know to some of y'all might be like, and that ain't nothing. But you know what? For me, like, when I was 18, 19, bro, my credit was fucked up. Ain't nobody taught me nothing. I fucked up my credit for fucking like $1,300, bro. You know what I mean? And I went to prison. I had to learn and understand what credit was and things like that. And when I came home and worked on getting my credit together, I got my first car under my name. You know what I'm saying? Like, I had cars, you know, not under my name, but getting under your name is like an accomplishment for yourself. You know, it's like something that helps you with your pride. It's a lot, you know what I mean? And I was like 27, 28 before I got my own car under my name. And I had to sign for a loan that had like 27% interest rate because of how bad my credit was. But I knew that I needed to do that to build my credit, and I paid off the car within a year, you know what I mean? But to see my daughter be 18, able to get a car under her name, you know, with her credit, you know, of course I helped her towards that credit, but that doesn't take away nothing from her. You know what I'm saying? Because it's my job as a parent and my duty to guide her and help her learn these things in life. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, she was able to get a brand new car, you know what I mean? Under her name, insurance under her name, all that. And I'm proud ain't even the word, bro. Proud is not the word. It's amazing. You know what I mean? And I'm so proud of her. I'm so proud of you, Vannah. You're amazing. You continue to be amazing. And even though good or bad, you're still amazing. Remember, we all make mistakes, you know what I mean? But, you know, I did like this thing on my stories where people asked questions the other day on my Instagram. And they were like asking me, like, what's one thing that I want my daughter to know and learn from this life or whatever like that. And it's crazy because I never said this to her, but I thought about it and I wrote it. And I told her this later. It's just like, never ask for something that you can't do for yourself. And I think that's the best thing a person can learn in life. You know what I mean? Like, never ask for something that you can't even do for yourself, because if you're not even able to do it for yourself, you're not even probably prepared to even accept that. You probably ain't even ready to accept what you're asking for if you can't even, or thought about even doing it for yourself. You know what I mean? And that all comes down to even back to what we're saying about, you know, these people making wrong decisions and, you know, going on podcasts or going on these shows and talking about things they did and then coming back and biting them in their butt. You know what I mean? Like, everybody wants to be rich. If you ask 10 people right now if they want to be rich, they're going to say, yeah. But they're not rich because they're not prioritizing their life to do the things that they need to do to get rich or get successful, however you want to put it. You know what I'm saying? And that's something you just got to understand more within yourself, you know, and that even takes back to the last episode of being loyal to yourself, you know, putting yourself first, understanding what the importance to you first. When you think about business growing their sales beyond forecasts, you think about a product with demand, a focused brand, and influence-driven marketing. But an often overlooked secret is actually the businesses behind the business, making, selling, and for shoppers buying simple. For millions of businesses, this business is Shopify. Nobody does selling better than Shopify. I'm telling y'all myself. Home of the #1 checkout on the planet and the not so secret with Shop Pay that boosts conversations up to 50%, meaning way less carts going abandoned and way more sales going. So if you're into growing your business, your commerce platform better be ready to sell wherever your customers are scrolling or strolling. On the web, in the store, in their feed, and everywhere in between. Businesses that sell more, sell on Shopify. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/code-as-ice. All lowercase. Go to shopify.com/code-as-ice to upgrade your selling today. Shopify.com/code-as-ice. It's March, which means it's money making time. For Code as Ice crew, y'all know I have a 2-day free pass for you to Captain Picks. The captains are cooking and I want you too. 10-game winning streak and it's money making March. College basketball, NBA, UFC, MLB, 24/7. If you want some action, they'll have a professional play for you. You know how I get down with sports betting, so learn to be a baller like me. If you sign up right now for daily, weekly, or monthly picks, then it'll be the best decision of the spring. The code for a 48-hour free pass is WIN, W-I-N, at winnable.com/captainpicks. www.winnable, WINIBLE.com/captainpicks. I'm not sure if I ever brought up this in any past episodes. It might have been vaguely, but you know, I'll never forget. I dated this girl one time, and you know, she, you know, was from the East Coast. You know what I mean? Had a good job, made good money, family had good money, good job. You know, not on no street shit or nothing. You know what I mean? She was a model for a little bit, and I remember she came to visit me. This is the time I was living in LA. And she comes into my house, and she walks in, and I think I probably had like 50, 60 pounds of weed in the living room. I had like 2 of my homies there. You know, I had like a couple guns just laying around the place, and like she like had this like shocked look on her face. You know what I mean? So I'm just like, "You good? You know, you straight?" And she was just like, "Hey, I don't feel comfortable here. Like, I want to get out of here. You know what I mean? Like, let's go somewhere." And I'm just like, "Why?" Like, you know what I mean? Like, we're going to chill for a little bit, then we'll go wherever. And she's like, "Look, I don't feel comfortable. I don't want to be here." And she was just like really tripping in my mind. I'm just like, yo, like chill. You know what I mean? Like, first off, weed, it's like fucking basically legal. You know what I mean? And the guns, they legit, they ain't got no bodies on it. You know what I mean? Like, I told her like that, like, what you tripping about? You know what I mean? But she was really, really adamant about leaving and tripping, man. And I was just like, yo, she tripping. You know, it's funny because years later, going through therapy and just like, I guess, even evolving in myself and maturing, I guess, or whatever, and in search of like trying to find peace and learning more about peace in self, I realized, you know what I'm saying? Like, she had every right to feel the way she felt. And the reason why is because she coming into that place, it like interrupted her peace. And because she was interrupted, it made her feel uncomfortable. And thinking about that now, I'm like, I even respect it. Like for me, like now, if I'm not feeling peaceful where I'm at, I don't even want to be there. Like, I don't care. And if I'm sitting there, I don't even want to be around it. I don't want to be involved in it because it's just making me feel uncomfortable. So at the end of the day, it's like me like thinking like, yo, it's just guns and weed, whatever. But it was like, that was messing with her peace, you know what I mean? And I say that because it's just like all around to just talking about ourselves and doing things to make us feel better. Like, don't do things that are uncomfortable as far as when it comes to ruining or affecting your peace or your sane mental state, to where eventually it becomes a problem. You know what I'm saying? Like for example, like they say watching porn, you know, it could mess your head. And it really can, because you're seeing things that you shouldn't be seeing usually. And you start seeing it so much, you start to like normalize it. And when you normalize it, that's when you're starting to alter yourself and your mind. You're rewiring yourself. You know, so it's just like, y'all got to use these situations as examples. Because remember, a person that learns from their mistakes is a smart man. But a person that learns from other people's mistakes is a genius. We see these things going on. We see these things happening to people, and it sucks, man. Like, prayers go to them and their family. But use these as examples. And I think that's one thing that I was able to get out of the streets and never look back, because I witnessed so much stuff and I was around so much shit. Like, I never had a thought in my mind that I would ever even live a legitimate life, or let's not even say it like that, like living a normal, peaceful life. You know, I was born and raised in the chaos. You know what I mean? My family were musicians, very famous. And as a kid, I used to go sit backstage and watch them play music, watching people party, people fighting, people shooting each other. You know what I mean? I see my dad get shot at 6 years old. You know, I watched my dad lay there in a pool of blood. And you know, he survived it by the grace of God. Thank you. But I'm saying that just to say is like, all my life, it was always survival. And that's all I knew. So growing up, I never thought of it like, oh, peaceful life and everything. I remember, if y'all would have met me before 2015, I used to always sit there and say, like, I'm always going to be in the streets. Like, I'm always going to be hustling, doing shit like that, because it's too easy for me, because I'm so connected. I know so many people. I ain't even got to be around, and I'm going to make money. And, you know, like, fast forward now, bro, like, ain't no amount of money you can give me or offer me that's going to make me think about doing something illegal or anything like that again, man. Like, that life is behind me. And, you know, whenever we decide to do the H-Town Hustler series, y'all gonna hear more about it. But I'm just blessed and thankful that I'm able to start finding peace in myself, peace through my trauma and my tribulations, you know? And that's just really how life is. You know, you gotta learn from your situations. We're all gonna go through stuff, but we just gotta learn something from it. And what we need to learn from these situations that we see, and like all these people that are getting jammed up in situations, like, the feds are gonna let you do what you do. You know what I'm saying? I had a homeboy, right? The feds, like, when he got locked up, they sent me to Discovery. I read his Discovery. And basically, for 11 months, they watched him and they recorded everything he did. So they'd be like, blase, pulls up to this address, walks in with a box, and leaves. Then what they do is they raid that house, and whoever's in there, they be like, okay, we raid the house. The box was in there. Inside the box was 200,000 pills, 5 kilos of cocaine. Then it says, like, they offered the dude in the house, they were like, okay, we can either take you down for all this right now, or we can basically leave and let you go back to doing what you do. We're going to leave the drugs and everything. Just go back to your everyday shit. But you got to sign this paper to say that when so-and-so gets caught, whenever we jam him and we need you to testify against him in court, you going to testify. So imagine that, right? And they did that, and he signed it, and they kept following my homeboy, doing the same thing to the next person, you know what I'm saying? And that's what they do. You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy, you know what I mean? Like, and it only get crazier, because you gotta understand, like, the last time I was in prison, Texas Department of Correction, was in 2003. The last time I was in federal facility, 2001. The last time I did time, like county time I had to do, was like 2010. So shit's different now and everything. But back then for me, it was like, you know, things get crazier. But now it's like, you got dudes that are able to snitch and set people up in prison, or they even let you out of prison to go set up people. It's crazy, man. I remember there was a dude out here, I think this was like 2013, 14, right? And out here in Houston, I used to be known, you know, I'd be going to strip clubs. I go to clubs. Like I'm known. I support businesses. I go and I spend money and I throw money. You know, down here, down south, like strip clubs is different down here, in case y'all don't know. Like strip clubs down here, like especially back then, I can't speak now. It's like, it's different now, everything, you know what I mean? But back 10, 15 years ago, man, you go to a strip club after hour, it ain't even about the women. I'm gonna be straight up with you. It ain't nothing but hustlers coming in there just to show out on each other. It's really a big dick fest. You go in there, you throwing money and seeing who throw more money than who, just to show out and let people see you and know what time it is. And that's just all it was, you know what I mean? So I remember back then, I moved to LA in 2010. You know, I'm going back and forth, and I'm going to V Live. Shout out my boy DJ Eric. And I remember seeing this one dude, man, he just in there throwing bread. Like I'm talking about, I remember one time they had a stripper come on the main floor dancing the stage. And I seen this dude get on the stage with a big duffel bag. I'm talking about like a Walmart duffel bag, like a big one. This dude had holes in his t-shirt. I'm talking about this dude looked like he worked at a mechanic shop and he went straight to the strip club after working. He you know, he messy, he dirty. And this girl dancing, and this dude unzips the duffel bag, bro. And he's pulling out blocks. You know, when you go to the bank and get 1,000 ones, it's wrapped up in a block in a bag, like a clear bag. This fool pulling out the bags, and he ain't even ripping out the money to throw it. He's really just pulling out the fucking whole 1,000 in the classic bag and looking at everybody and flashing it, and just throws, like, not just even throws it, he just drops it on the floor next to her. And he does this, he pulls out, I think, at least 15, 20,000 in ones. He's not even breaking the seal or the bag, bro. And I'm sitting here just like, yo. And at this time, I think I've been in Cali for maybe 6-7 months. You know what I mean? I ain't been back. And I'm just like, yo, what is going on out here? Like, yo, like this dude getting money. You know what I mean? Like it was hilarious. We're laughing because we're just like, yo, he got to have it. Like he doing it. But anyways, I say to say, like, so I was just noticing dudes, and there was this one guy, like he just, every night I'm there, he throwing 10 bands a night, you know what I mean? And it's cool. Like I'm not doing that. I'm there. I throw like 2,000-3,000 and I go on about my business. But anyways, like I would hear about him because, you know, I had a lot of friends that were dancers, and they were telling me, you know, this dude, he just every night he there throwing it. And I'm like, yo, dude must be doing this thing, man. Shit, props to him. Come to find out a couple years later, the dude was working with the feds. Basically, he was in the feds, and they let him out, and they basically give him money, and they, you know, give him the stuff he needs to be in there to attract the attention and set dudes up. You know what I mean? And that, like, once again, that's over 10 years ago. So you can imagine what other schemes or what other type of things the feds are allowing to happen just to catch people, bro. So, you know, end of the day, I'm just really saying or trying to let y'all know, it's just like, you just got to be careful, man, and enjoy your wins in silence. And I know it's hard. Sometimes it's hard for me, but you know what? Nobody, you know, we live in a world where it's like you got to scream or you got to let the world know, you know, what you're doing and your losses. But from experience right now, bro, that's what put me in the situation I'm in or was in, to where, you know, I had almost $2 million taken from me, you know what I mean? Taken from my business, really, because of trusting people, because of showcasing and trying to show the world, you know, what I'm doing. Really, I'm doing it because I was really, you know, as long as people know me, you look back to even when I was rapping, I was always trying to motivate and inspire, you know, and show the world like, hey, if I could do it, you could do it too. Never on no showing off, never trying to show off. It wasn't that, because that's, like I said, down here, down south in H-Town, that's how we do, you know what I mean? Like we show what we do, you know what I mean? Like, we show you better when we can tell you. But because of me trying to motivate and inspire people, it put me in a situation of people around me preying on my downfall and putting me in the situation to take the losses and really, you know, fuck shit up. And with that being said, it's like, when I say the day and age we live in, or nowadays how it is, I'm not even talking about the young people. I'm talking about old people too. Old people that are living in a different day and age. You know what I'm saying? Like, that shit wild, you know what I mean? Because people be closest to you. It'd be the ones closest to you, man, that start feeling like they entitled or you owe them something. And they don't think about the things you've done or given them and all that shit, the things you shared with them in life. They should start feeling that you owe them something. And, you know, I think that's one thing, or one reason how I got out the streets, was because I left the streets with people owing me, not me feeling like someone owes me. You know what I mean? I remember when I decided to wash my hands with the streets, I ain't gonna lie to you, I had a tab out there for a couple $100,000 still. And I reached out to the people and I told them, I said, look, I'm out and I'm done. So you could just consider that tab gone. You know what I mean? It is what it is. I looked at it like, hey, most people end up in prison or end up dead. And me, I just basically was able, God bless me, to pay my way out and go forward in my life and never look back. And, you know, that's just what it was, man. Like, that's just what it was. You know, everything, what I'm saying, it just comes down to just, again, you know what I mean? Just understanding, you know, like, don't nothing come free, man. Don't nothing come easy, man. Easy come, easy go. The fast it come, the fast it go out. It all comes down to just understanding, man, and know it ain't easy, man. Life is hard. Life is hard as fuck. But it's worth it. You know what I mean? Like, all the people that you look and see that are successful or that are like really doing their things in life, you got to remember, man, their story, what's the most interesting part of their story that you want to hear is their come up, their struggle. That's what everybody want to hear, you know what I'm saying? And so you got to go through your struggle. You got to go through your situation and what you got to go through and deal with. So just don't sell yourself short, man. And when I say that, like, don't try to shortcut the struggle. Don't try to, you know, cheat the grind, because you're only going to get back what you put in, man. Shout out to all the people getting to it, want to get to it, that's going to get to it, because you always going to have your chance to get to it. So instead of trying to focus on getting to it so much, prepare yourself for when you get to it, you're going to really be able to milk it and do whatever, man. Like, it took me going up and down, taking losses to where I had nothing and coming back several times for me to realize what it was that was causing me to go down, for me to make sure that when I get back up, I'm going to stay up. You know what I'm saying? Like, it sucks, man. I almost lost $2 million, like almost $2 million. But you know what? Also, I'm blessed to be able to say that I can and I did. And I'm going to bounce back from that. And that 2M loss, you know, I paid that to get rid of all them people that was around me that did me wrong or was planning on me. And I'm going to make 20 mil. And I'm going to be able to do what I do and chill and do what I've been trying to do, which is give my children the life that they deserve. You know what I mean? And me being a better father, a better man each day. That's what I'm worried about. And if you ain't got children, you still got time to do more for yourself and build for yourself, because it's hard as fuck trying to do for yourself and for your children. So, you know, I hope this episode finds y'all in a good place, man. And I apologize. I got a little emotional and things like that. But it's like, this is really my way of speaking to all my supporters and all my people out there that I can't really speak to in person or ever. So I hope y'all be able to learn something from this. Even if it's one thing you're going to learn, I hope you learn something that's going to make your life better. You know what I'm saying? Just like my book, 48 Laws of Hustle. You know what I mean? Those were 48 laws I created that, you know, had me, you know, through my rough times and my trials and tribulations. I used those laws to help me push through and keep pushing, you know, when shit feel like it was all out. Because just remember, man, tough times don't last, but tough people do. And we're going to end the show like that, man. God bless y'all. Much love. And next week, we're going to get jiggy to it. And Let's bring Ben Butt back. Bring Ben ass back. I'm out, man. Y'all have a good weekend.
Lifestyle we live, man, it's cold, it's ice. We took a chance, the ball, now we set the price. This lifestyle we live, man, it's cold, it's ice. We took a chance, the ball, now we setting the price, let's get it.